Again, thank you, Banabud, and we thank the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industries for giving us this opportunity to talk about green logistics in Kenya. With the background that we've given, how would you describe the adequacy of the legal regulatory framework governing green logistic practices in Kenya?
Okay. Okay, basically from my personal perspective, and understanding a little bit of the industry, I would say that we still have a long way to go in matters green logistics, because yes, we do have some one or two entities that are trying to improve the green logistics accept or concept, but it has not been deeply embedded, especially in the logistics fraternity, in such a way that we can say maybe 70 or 80% of the practitioners practicing it.
Okay.
So basically, I would say that we still have a long way to go in matters regarding green logistics. And basically, we do not have adequate or sufficient policies that would, be able to support this kind of concept at the moment.
Right. So I know there are a number of organizations that are representing the stakeholders, particularly the manufacturers, the logistics people. So can you describe the nature and the level of collaboration that is there between your organization and stakeholders in the logistics sector that is geared towards improving green logistics?
And okay, basically we because we are an apex body and we are not sectoral in nature. We represent all spheres of business. So we are able to work with any partners cutting across the board, including logisticians, importers and exporters, and we try to just bring them on board or on the table with the partners that we see fit and actors, especially on this green logistics initiative. So would you have any collaboration with the Shippers Council of East Africa, with KMA? Do you come together and discuss this? No, not yet.
Okay.
They have come about in different fora, but I would not say that there has been one major or one key platform that is just to discuss green logistics, not that I know of in the recent past.
Exactly. So then, in your view, what policy reforms should be introduced to scale up green logistics practices in Kenya?
If you ask me, then I think we need a paradigm shift that would cover not only the national government, but also the counties, the parastatals that are involved in cargo clearance and logistics, and the main actors, including the shipping lines, including the airlines, that we all need to collaborate and work together in seeing that we are able to just get ahead with this kind of concept. One notable, or two that I'd pick, is one, export of fresh produce with containers, that is reefers and refrigerated containers. That was also something that is geared towards reducing our carbon footprint. And secondly, is a concept that I did not really master, but one CFS is giving carbon credits, and that is Autopot's NFT. So I just need to understand what they're really doing along those lines. And these are just examples that I'm picking to show you that what is happening across the green logistics initiatives.
Okay. So, Felix, did you want to ask something, or can I go ahead? Felix.
You can proceed, Senior.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
All right.
So, so then, which advocacy initiatives do you believe would be effective in influencing policy changes in green logistics? Advocacy initiatives.
Okay, I would not really put it as advocacy, but the approach needs to be all-rounded. When we are talking about like the Boda movement that is now being supported by electric.
Yeah.
Yes. Why can't we have the same initiatives? So for those who are doing logistics in one way or another, including courier, including trucking and any other, what initiatives or what platforms are we giving them to support these kind of initiatives? So when we are looking at the Boda movement, because they have numbers, like any other our courier that they're doing, using pickups, using cars, using bicycles. Why are they not being considered? These Ubers, we have countries that they are running purely on electric, and they're also, in one way or another, doing providing logistics services. What are we not giving them? These trucks or reefer or refrigerated containers and the CFS that are supporting them. How are we supporting them in just making sure that they're reducing their carbon footprint? So I believe that it needs not only to be an advocacy issue, but there needs to be some sort of support, some sort of maybe fiscal incentive that will just make sure that even as we're looking at, in as much as we're looking at the advocacy issue, but we're also giving them enough, how can I put it, incentives to make sure that they do this willingly and they're seeing the benefit of it. So I think it has to be a multifaceted approach.
Definitely. So which initiatives and international best practices would you recommend for capacity building to improve awareness of green logistics practices?
Okay. So things, the question is very wide, but the aspect of
best practices and international best practices that can be recommended, and how we can build capacity of our members.
So in green logistics, one at the most is for us to get the hang or the concept of reverse logistics. That is one. Because I think people have not yet fully understood that concept.
Yes.
And if we are able to basically just sensitize not only the practitioners, but also the major players utilizing this kind of services. So when we're talking about maybe, Coca-Cola, when you're talking about in as much as things as recycling, plastic waste, how are we utilizing the logistics, the reverse logistics, so that they are able to just come on board and make sure that they utilize our services and concepts to the full of our ability. Just on a lighter note, when they're talking about countries like Sweden and Norway being so good in recycling, that they have to import waste just to make sure that they are utilizing full capacity of whatever they have put in place.
Interesting.
Okay, so what how can we basically improve our supply chains in reverse logistics? Okay, and the same will also come about incentivizing. For example, Coca-Cola or soft drinks, or at our the juices that we have.
Yes.
If you go to Europe, they have put in place proper, consolidation centers, and even you as somebody who is going to throw your waste, you see that there's paper waste, there's plastic waste, there's organic waste. But then they have gone a step further, because that can be done by anybody, Silio.
Yeah.
But you can now go and see, even in their malls and the supermarkets and some other small centers, they have put in place ATM kind of machines that if I put my plastic bottles, I will get 10, 20 bob back.
Okay.
Yeah, this is also part of reverse logistics, that they are collecting this plastic waste, and they can go and value add them at a certain facility. So that is one, reverse logistics. Two, renewable energy.
Okay.
And supporting technologies. So when we are talking about solar, we are talking about renewable energy. I think also sustainable transport will go along the same. And then how do we calculate our carbon footprint as a country, as an industry? Okay? Just and even as much as we are, calculating our carbon footprint as a government or as an industry, how are we then, giving back to those who are being keen on their carbon footprint? Okay, so somebody goes to Rwanda or Uganda and comes back with return cargo. He has utilized both legs. Okay, instead of coming empty, and then somebody else, what are we putting in place to make sure that we are incentivizing them? Okay, sustainable packing and packaging in our logistical endeavors or operations. Okay, optimizing supply chains and using of technology to make sure that we get our EOQ and MOQs. And how are we advising also our partners in the supply chain? And I think also on the aspect of return cargo, how are we collaborating? So freight partnerships across East Africa. I cannot be present in Ethiopia, in Kigali, but I'm going with a truck to Rwanda. Are there any partners on the other side that I can collaborate with on return leg? At the same time, we'll be utilizing the return leg, but also boost exports from the other side.
So,
Some of the
very insightful, very insightful. I would like to could you just say something about the mechanisms that your organization has put in place to scale up the green logistics? Because I understand you are an apex body. You are talking of all sorts of people, the traders, the manufacturers, the transporters. You have everyone in there, and I think that you have a very strong position then to talk to your members. So what mechanisms has your organization put in place to scale up the green logistics practices amongst the logistics operators?
Okay. Basically, we have not yet targeted logistics operators at the moment. We are still working with sensitizing basically the main actors, that is government, that is other stakeholders. And we are hoping that with such efforts, then we can go to the next part that is now working with actual actors on the ground. So we are still targeting the likes of JICA, the likes of GIZ, the likes of Kuna Foundation, and all these other, main players, including the airlines and other logistics, international logistics service providers, to make sure that, we are able to get it as association and BMOs first, before we can then move to the main actors or players on the ground.
Okay.
Yes. So basically, from my observation, that is where the work is at right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, in one of the interviews, someone indicated that there's a lot of training by the support agencies. but lead to coordination at the national level. Would that be a correct statement?
Not 100% correct, because the trainings are not so many. That is one. So we need improved training, and we need them to be targeted and well coordinated.
Targeted and well coordinated. What would you mean by that?
When we're talking about green logistics, let them target, for example, importers and exporters, because they're the users of these logistic services.
Okay.
So when you sensitize them, then they would be in a position to maybe filter out the partners that they're working with and ask them, no, we have been through this and this, and we require our services to be this and this and this.
Okay.
So if they understand as importers and exporters, then they would be able to, put to task their logistics partners. Yes.
So would you then be able to outline any support or resources, stroke incentives that are available for customs agents and other logistics operators who are scaling up in logistics practices? Any support resources?
At the moment, I cannot actually pinpoint
Okay.
any, apart from maybe tax incentives when you're talking about importation of some items that may be zero rated. But apart from that, then there are no other incentives. Sad to say.
Okay. Green logistics calls for transitions. People are leaving old practices and adopting new practices. You are leaving your old diesel operated forklift to go for electric operated forklift.
Yeah.
You are cutting down on use of paper and all these other things. What is the major benefit that people are deriving from this?
Major benefit is actually cutting down costs, saving on time, improving of our environment and climatic conditions, which we are seeing from day to day getting worse. And also, I feel when we adopt these, technologies, that we are moving with times and we are not obsolete. Because in as much as you would want to stick to what you know, but we are moving towards newer trends, and even maintaining of what is outdated would end up being costly. So we need to adapt accordingly.
Okay.
Yes.
And what would you say is the biggest challenge in trying to achieve that?
Change management. We need, like I said before, paradigm shift, and that is the main actors, including the government, including the traders, including the logistic service providers, including manufacturers as well, because they also need to come on the ground and sensitize people. Like I would, for example, tell you, the likes of Kalmar and all these others have solutions that we can take off, but the solutions are not yet reached our part of the continent or the world, because we do not know. So we need them to come out from their comfort zones and sensitize people that, hey, we have this equipment, we have these facilities, we have these solutions that we feel might be able to make your work easier, cheaper, but you need to come and see for yourselves. Our traders do not move globally. We have, conferences, we have expos that happen that showcase all these technologies, but it is very rare for our people to be traveling and go and get acquainted with what is happening around the world.
So how can we move them? What incentives can they be given so that they are able to attend?
Wow.
Or are motivated to attend?
Yeah, I think one, we need to bring those expos and conferences here, closer home. That is one. Secondly, we need to showcase whatever is happening, even if it is, online platforms that we can give them, let them come. And then thirdly, somebody like, I gave an example of Kalmar, they already exist here. They know that they have clients here.
Yes.
But rarely do you see them coming down and conducting. So that is just an example I'm giving you. But electric vehicles, motorbikes, we have this happening. Why are these people not, why don't we have a proper platform, renewable energy happening in Kenya or East Africa? Yeah. What we see is just the same, construction, housing, but I think it's time we need to move away from that.
Okay.
Yes.
So, at the board level, in your organization, how high is the agenda of green logistics?
Talking from example, it's very high in the agenda. I would tell you that it's actually, we have something along those lines even at our national level of the Chamber of Commerce. So it is something that is sensitive and has been given the attention. I think it just needs to be picked up and the relevant people to be able to run with it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Talking about exhibitions and all the like, I remember our days in Mombasa with Najib. We organized very good exhibitions. Are we still? Is there room for collaboration with these people that you are talking about as a chamber to invite them to? We are talking about bringing it closer to the people. Have you tried out any opportunities to bring such exhibitions, say down coast? Yeah.
I think there is room for that. Yeah, there is room for that. We just need a few persons to bring their heads together and be able to just make it work.
Okay.
Yes.
So, what do you think it will take to get to that level?
Government goodwill, industry goodwill. That is all that we need. Kabisa.
Is there a role for the county governments to be involved in green logistics?
Oh, yes. As we are talking now, they are putting up county aggregated industrial parks. They are putting up an SEZ as well. They are putting up a marshalling yard. But neither of those has there been a mention of green logistics. Yes. So it is actually the right time to try and rope them in as well, to make sure that with whatever they are planning, let this also be an agenda.
So, and that takes us back to the question I'd asked earlier on the level of collaboration between your organization and the other institutions and other organizations. So you're saying there's room for that?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, and so what would it take? You say the government, but on the private sector side, what would it take?
I think the private sector side, we just need more collaboration. And like I told you, because not many people fully understand this, I think just need one or two actors bring people together on the table and, guys, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to, because from my point of view, we do not really have champions on the ground. We need to create those champions and create, an agenda to run with.
Okay.
And then definitely there'll be an uptake.
So do you carry out any audits or to establish the level of adoption of these practices?
No. From the chamber, no.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm very grateful. I think that you've given us quite good information, and we will be happy when we are sharing our findings. That we can call you to come and be one of our validators of the reports that will be presented.
Definitely. I would gladly participate.
We are very grateful. We thank you for finding time. I know it is time for you to go off. Have a good day.
I had to make time, George, because
I know because I had to, when Kitari was talking to you and and he said George. He said, but I know George. Yes, but I can see.
You're my elder in the industry.
I can see you are also. I want you to meet.
We are catching up with you.
I want you to meet this guru here. This guru. That, but my colleague Felix Bukachi.
Let me learn from him.
Amen.
And then we can business answer.
Okay, so I want to.